2010s, Cartoon Network gave us some of the greatest cartoons of all time. Adventure Time, Regular Show, Mad, The Amazing World of Gumball, and really so many more. But in between those lineups were some more, questionable releases that seem to have been lost to the sands of time. Today I want to go back to when I was 11 years old and recount some of the weirdest shows that nobody ever talks about. Robotomy follows the lives of two robots, Thrasher and Blastus, as they go to high school and deal with teenage problems like Facebook.
Hi, I'm Frenemy. This is a special occasion. I'll post about it.
The show is surprisingly pretty funny. A lot of the comedy stems from the premise. These robots, who are loaded to the teeth with spikes, fire eyes, lasers, time machines, and chainsaws, are just living normal teenage experiences. The show only lasted one season, airing from 2010 to 2011, but I think it could have used more. I remember really liking it as a kid, and even now, rewatching it as a college graduate, I found a lot of charm and humor in it.
Razor-sharp cliffs, magma river, and one-eyed titans!
Or we could take the shuttle bus.
Hey! Oh, you saw that? Well, curse you, shuttle bus! Curse your comfort and convenience!
It's by no means the greatest show of all time, but given its singular season with only 10 episodes and lack of online presence, I kind of expected it to be much worse than it really was. There's a video on YouTube by Chadwick Fincher where it's every single episode in one video, and it's only less than 2 hours long. I would recommend watching the video if you're ever really bored and just have nothing to do. You'd actually be surprised by how good the show is. Naked Animal Hotel. Wait, what is this show called? Almost Naked Animals lasted 3 seasons running from 2011 to 2013. It follows a group of animals who run the Banana Cabana Hotel. And I guess it's so hot that none of them wear clothes? Yeah, I don't think they ever answer that, and frankly, I don't think I want to know. The show always bothered me as a kid. I didn't like the fact that they were practically naked, but also the fact that they were shaved and had hair follicles. Like, they all do. Why does the duck have hair? Ducks don't have hair! Rewatching it now, I've got to say that unlike Robotomy, I feel like this one really doesn't hold up. The humor is absurdist, and most of it feels like they took the Big Time Rush approach of random sound equals funny.
Ow.
But unlike Big Time Rush, which actually is a masterpiece in children's entertainment.
Dude. Did you hear that? It was the ghost.
Naked Hotel for Dogs is just not funny.
We are the problem solvers.
The Problem Solvers might be the single ugliest cartoon ever. Not only is it ugly looking, but it's ugly sounding. Listen to this.
Awkward!
It follows 3 men. Is this thing even a man? Hold up. What the fuck is this thing? The wiki says it's part human, part dog, and part anteater! I'm convinced that cartoons have never seen an anteater before. First Arthur's bitch ass, and now this monstrosity. Anyway, these 3 men find unorthodox ways to solve problems. Kind of like Nathan For You, if Nathan For You was uglier than the shit I took this morning.
Good.
Okay, so it sounds and looks repulsive, but how is the show itself? Is it at all funny? Maybe it has heart? Nope. Problem Solvers lasted 2 seasons from 2011 to 2013, and it definitely has that early 2010 sense of humor, where random equals funny. Unlike Animals in the Nude, whose randomness mostly comes from the sound effects, the entirety of the Problem Solvers show feels like the writers had a dartboard of ideas and weren't allowed to say no to anything. As a kid, I actually remember liking this show, unfortunately. But I must have just been an idiot, because I don't get it at all, looking back on it. Remember what I just said about the Problem Solvers 30 seconds ago about being the ugliest cartoon ever? Yeah, I might have lied. Secret Mountain Fort Awesome lasted 1 season and ran from 2011 to 2013. It has a sort of Smiling Friends aesthetic, where it just puts random, gross, anything goes kind of characters. One of the main characters is a literal butt. Problem Solvers looks uglier, but this show definitely feels uglier. Honestly, I think I was right on the money with the Smiling Friends comparison, though. This show feels like a Smiling Friends prototype. The difference is that Smiling Friends is actually really well written, and using the absurdity to enhance the humor, rather than it being the humor. But what makes Smiling Friends so great is the realism, especially with the dialogue. Take the Brazil episode, for example. Nothing really happens, but the comedy comes from the humor and relatability.
Moved his arm. I thought he was gonna hit me. I thought he was gonna punch me when he.
I actually thought the same thing.
Anyway, back to this piece of shit. Now, I have to make a confession. As much as I was hating on it, I actually kind of enjoyed it upon rewatch. It's one of those shows that's so bad that it's kind of funny. I found myself laughing way more than I ever expected to. But it's weird, because the main characters aren't funny. The humor actually comes from the visuals and side characters' jokes.
Stop right where you are, model scum. I'm an officer of the law, and this model is under arrest.
It's about time the fashion police showed up.
Secret Mountain Fort Awesome is by no means a good show, but if you like Smiling Friends and that kind of humor, you might actually wind up having a good time with it. I know today we've talked about almost exclusively bad shows that have been forgotten, and that's absolutely part of the reason why they have been forgotten, because they're bad. But I want to end this video on a high note. So to cap us all off, here's an actual good show. Lasting unfortunately one season. Seriously? How do the Problem Solvers get more seasons than this thing? Running from 2010 to 2011, Symbiotic Titan follows 3 human-looking aliens who confuse and turn into giant robot. Meanwhile, dealing with normal high school issues like fitting to cliques and school dances. This is like Robotomy if it was better. It was weird watching a show with an actual plot as a child. I actually didn't like it at first, mostly because I never actually watched the show. Plus, I'm pretty sure if a show didn't make a poop joke, I didn't enjoy it.
Oh well, I never could resist a good musical beat.
But then one night, one of my friends recommended it to me. So I sat down and I watched an episode, and I loved it. I thought Lance was the coolest thing ever. He had that episode 3 Anakin Skywalker look that I wanted to replicate so hard as a kid.
Man, fuck! He's so cool!
Watching it back now, I get it. This show is so underrated and so underappreciated. The story, the art style, even the voice acting, it's all great. I feel like with the right love and care, this could have been the next Ben 10. But alas, it was never meant to be. The show will remain a cult classic for the foreseeable future. But hey, who knows, maybe with enough push from the fans and maybe even a meme, Symbiotic Titan could get a season 2 similar to Clone High did. It's safe to say that some of these shows were better off being forgotten by the general masses. But Robotomy and Symbiotic Titan had some real heart and character, and it's a shame they only lasted one season. So we never really got to see where it could go. There are tons of more shows from my childhood that nobody seems to talk about. So let me know if you'd want to see a part 2. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at a later date. Bye-bye.